G'day everybody, SingleIssue Steve back again with another championship game preview. Well, not another one, this is the the first one I've done, but another playoffs preview. So this week is the AFC and NFC championship games. So I'm going to talk about these in order depending on what time slots they're on. So firstly though, quick recap of last week's games. So we had the Bills lose, which was a bit of a surprise. Josh Allen played I think he tried to do too much. Let's be honest, he tried to do too much. I think he had something like 4 turnovers. He was really pressing a lot. Defensively, he wasn't helped a lot either. So disappointing that they didn't get through. I like the Bills myself. I have a bit of a soft spot for them, so really sad to see them not actually get through. But hey, that's football. That's what happens. But unfortunately, too, it meant that Sean McDermott got fired as well. So you can see with the results that the Bills have had over the last few years, they sort of get there and then they just don't quite make it. So unfortunately, that's going to cost you your job, and that's what happened with Sean McDermott. But guarantee he'll get stamped up pretty quickly by somebody because he's a quality coach. We also had the Niners against the Seahawks. As predicted, the Seahawks kind of gave them a bit of a thrashing. Little bit disappointed. Oh, hang on one sec. Here he is, international correspondent Matt. Good morning, mate.
Good morning, brother. Sorry about that. I was in at like 2 minutes before stream started, but it wasn't working, so I had to back out and come back in.
All good, mate. All good. I'm just doing a quick recap of what happened last week. So actually, before we go too far, I'll say good morning to a couple of people. Or good morning where I am. It's now just gone 8 a.m. here in sunny Melbourne. So morning, James. How are you, my friend? Always good to see you. And Javier as well. Hope both teams lose in the NFC. I think a few people feel that way, mate, to be honest with you. And yeah, as we just talked about, mate, your Niners got belted last week. They really were facing an uphill battle. I mean, with the injuries that they've got, defensively, they're not as strong as they were. I mean, they've been missing Fred Warner all year. It was just a real uphill battle, and Seattle were just firing on all cylinders.
And the way that game started too, Shaheed with the 95-yard kickoff return. It's hard for any team to come back from that.
That was insane. I mean, what a great mid-season pickup that bloke was.
Oh yeah,
he was absolutely amazing. We also had the Texans last week. I don't know what's going on with CJ Stroud, mate, but he's just, I don't know. I might use the word regressing.
Yeah, that looks terrible.
Since that, I mean, they've got one of the best defenses in the league. So, but even that, if you've got really poor quarterback play, you can't overcome that.
I listen. I know that the Patriots defense is first of all, I just wanted to say this: my picks for last week, thank God, 4-0, and the Broncos, the two games that we picked as the better games, Bills Broncos and Rams Bears, turned out to be just that, even more than we thought. So both going into OT, but that started a little spoiler there, obviously, if you haven't seen it. But what's it called? They no, but the Texans game, like what you're saying there, I think the two teams that I think their defenses are very underrated are the Patriots and the Rams, because a lot of these other teams their defense gets talked about quite a bit, but you don't usually hear too much about those two defenses. And I mean, they had 3 sacks, 4 interceptions, and a fumble recovery against. And this is the second straight week that the Texans that we've seen them kind of do this, even against Pittsburgh and then again this week. So it was I don't know. Yeah, like you said, I don't know. I still think he's a good player, and I still think they have a lot of good pieces on that team, but that was tough to watch.
It was, yeah. And as we talked about, we said he'd miss Nico Collins, and he certainly did. But just, I don't know. Hopefully he turns it around, because there's too much talent on that roster just to be wasted.
Oh yeah. And by the way, hey, Javi and James and everybody, I saw them there when you popped them up, but I was in the middle. I apologize.
No, that's all right. All good, mate. So now this is the game that I really want to have a quick recap of. This was such an entertaining game, and that pass of Caleb Williams running 20 yards back off the back with just over a minute to go, all the way to Cole Kmet, who I reckon, by the way, is a very, very underrated tight end. I really like the bloke. If he ever came to Cincinnati, I'd be wrapped. But it was just, it was a sensational game.
So there's 27 seconds left, just to set the stage if people didn't see it. 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter of a back and forth, just great game overall. Great offense, defense, special team, just a great game. 4th and 4. So the game, not just the game, the season is on the line. 4th and 4 at the 14-yard line. Keeping that in mind, the 14-yard line. LA pressures him up the middle. Caleb does his best Randall Cunningham, scramble backwards. He scrambles all the way back. When he releases the ball, he's around the 40-yard line. And it looks like a perfect rainbow pass right over Komet's shoulder for the touchdown. It was amazing. Even the announcers were like awestruck by it because they're like, "Oh my god! Like this isn't just a good play. This is amazing." So yeah, it was crazy.
It was just such an entertaining game to watch. And if we could sort of rejig the teams a little bit and have them play again today, I'd love to see both those teams play again today.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just insane. And as Javier said here, mate, Kaylee Williams is a dog. His trading cards are expensive. Yeah, you want to collect all these cards. The moment wasn't too big for him. And I think one of the best things the Bears did was getting Ben Johnson. He's just going to turn that franchise around. If this is anything to go by.
Can I tell you something that's a real shame is like DJ Moore, their wide receiver, has played so good this season, especially in the playoffs. He upped his game. He came up in big moments. The most disappointing thing was in overtime. Cam Curl, by the way, great player, defensive back for the Rams. But Caleb Williams throws it to DJ Moore, and DJ Moore had it looks like he has no idea that the ball is coming his way. He's not even running his full speed. He's a pretty fast dude, and he's like half jogging, and the ball gets picked off. And that's such a huge play that like changed the momentum of that overtime. And it was a shame to see a season come down. I mean, it's football, so that's the kind of things that happen. It's like a blindside shot for a fumble or a missed field goal. Like that, those are the kind of weird things that happen to decide games between good teams like this. But it's just a shame. It's a shame with everything they've done up to this point to see it come down to something like a miscommunication like that. But I mean, hey, hats off to Cam Curl, great interception. So
definitely interesting comment here from Saz. DJ Moore might have been hurt. Rumor he's playing with a head injury.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty.
That could be because it doesn't seem like his personality to like jog on a play at all. So it was very strange.
He's one of those receivers that you'd love to have on your squad because he's downfield blocking for the running backs and for the tight ends, and he just puts his body on the line. So yeah, it's funny. My son's actually a Panthers fan, and he got a DJ Moore jersey and wore it for a year before he pissed off.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, Panthers, so I don't care.
Yeah, two of those guys that I mean, really, like if you were going to talk about league wide, Puka Nacua for the Rams and DJ Moore for the Bears, both in this game. Great, obviously receivers, but also great with the ball in their hands, making things happen. But like you said, a very rare talent in today's game where there's a lot of divas and things like that. Great blockers downfield. I mean, just great playmakers overall. So yeah, it was very weird to see him. He looked like, I mean, if that's the case, I didn't know that, like what Sasmer said, but if that's true, then I mean, it makes a lot of sense because he looked like he was unaware of his surroundings. It was very strange. Yeah,
hopefully. I mean, it might have been a delayed concussion. Oh, who knows, mate? I'm not a bloody neurosurgeon, but it's just really sad to think that he was out there with that kind of injury, especially with all of the concussions and people having CTE and stuff these days. So you've got to watch your noggins, people.
Yeah,
take these things most definitely. So, congratulations on getting 4 out of 4 last week, mate. I thought I would do pretty well with 3 out of 4, but that's right, you got 4.
Yeah, because we were kind of split on that Broncos game, which I can understand. I mean, look how that game turned out. So obviously that was that's a huge game, man. And I you feel bad seeing it come down to stretch like that, and having the referees have to get involved. I mean, I think that most of the DPIs and things that came down the stretch, I think they were actually legitimate. I think there was a lot of contact, but you just hate to see, like I said, you hate to see these guys go through it. I know one of the late ones in OT, the one DPI by Johnson on the Bears, Bosa had a horrible cheap shot on Bo Nix. So even if that DPI didn't happen, they still would have got the first down. That was stupid. That's the kind of stuff I don't like in sports. Like the play is way gone. The ball is way gone at that point, and just a cheap shot. And I haven't seen Bosa do those things in the past, so I'm guessing just frustration over the situation in the game. But
yeah, exactly right. There's no need for that shit. I mean, the ball's gone. Late hits. I mean, I think it's really good that the NFL has now, over the last few years, especially started to focus on protecting the quarterbacks a bit more because. You knock your quarterbacks out of the game, guess what? You haven't got a game.
Yeah, we're going to talk. We're going to talk shortly. Yeah, we're going to talk shortly about that. Unfortunately, yeah,
100% we are, mate. And nice little segue. Let's talk about the AFC Championship game, which chronologically is the first game up. So it's at Mile High. And look, I'll be honest with you, mate. I cannot see Denver winning this game.
No. And it's a shame because I said to you, I mentioned to you last week, I think the best complete team and the best balanced team that's left in the playoffs is the Rams. I said this last week. I still believe it. They didn't do it. They didn't do anything to make me second guess that. Although I will say that Stafford struggled a little more than I thought he would in that game. And that's no. The Bears have a good defense, but they were also playing a lot of guys. They had a lot of guys missing. So to be able to put the clamps on them like that, weather could have had. What it is, what it is. But they won the game, so it is what it is. But I would have definitely picked Rams Broncos 100%. If that game ends and we don't get the report on Knicks missing the next game, I would 100,000,000% have gone Rams Broncos for my picks. But I can't, and I can't. I just can't do it. I think it'll still keep. I think Denver's defense is so good that it will still be close. I don't think the Patriots go in there and blow them out or anything like that. But if you're going to tell me that Stidham, which I don't really know the guy, so no offense to him, but if you're going to tell me that Stidham is going to go in there, he hasn't even thrown a pass in 2024 or 2025, and he's going to go in, and he's going to go in there and put up anything against the defense that held their last two opponents to 3 points and 16 points in the wild card and division round. I don't believe that. So I mean, no offense to them. Couple things I wanted to mention. New England has won 15 of their last 16 games. Denver's won 14 of their last 15, so nothing bad on them. The biggest thing, like we talked about, no Bo Nix. That can Denver score enough? Can they score enough to keep up with that team? New England has struggled lately. May, they've given up a lot of sacks. May has had more turnovers than I expected. But I will tell you this: Denver, great at pressure, right? Great at pressure without the blitz. Great at pressure with the blitz. They had 5 takeaways last week. 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and two picks against the Bills. But here's the thing. Denver's defense is their strength, and they're very good. If you look at May versus blitzes this year, he's thrown for 15 touchdowns, no interceptions, and has a quarterback rating of 129.2, 9.1 per attempt. So, I mean, it seems like if you want to take the strength of Denver there, but when it comes down to nitty-gritty time where they're blitzing and putting pressure on him, he's shown. I mean, remember the other week where he has pressure right up in his face, and he just sets his feet and throws that one to Hunter Henry. By the way, Hunter Henry, another thing, I'm glad that I brought that up through my little mind jumble here that I'm going through, was that Denver has struggled a little bit against tight ends. They gave up 115 yards last week to tight ends, and Hunter Henry's a very good one that's coming up. In New England also 8-0 on the road.
Yeah, all the reasons you just mentioned, mate. That's why they're going to win. And we have a look at Drake May. He didn't play that well last week. Yeah, and he's going up against a very, very good defense. And I mean, as we talked about in one of the other episodes previously, that's the reason why Vance Joseph is getting looked at as a head coaching possibility, because his defense is just absolutely brilliant. So that's the only thing that's going to keep him in the game. Losing Knicks. Look, I'll be honest with you. I was shattered just as a football fan to
me too.
See Peyton's press conference going, he's done his ACL, he's out for the rest of the season. You're just like, whoa. I'm sorry, not his ACL. Sorry, that's Zach Charbonnet, which we'll talk about. But yeah, to break your bone in his ankle, you're just like, holy shit. That's just massive implications. So, and he's come out and supported Stidham, and of course you have to, because you're not going to go and say, look, we're shitting ourselves now because we've got our backup. No coach will ever say that. But yeah, the biggest thing, he has not thrown a pass in an NFL game in 2 years.
Yeah, yep.
It's just crazy. The other thing too, which we haven't touched on, is J.K. Dobbins is out as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so Dobbins is out too, mate. So obviously not their starter, but still an extremely important piece for their running game. So yeah, I think it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I think both defenses are too good, but I think it's definitely going to be Patriots. And yeah, as you said, they've won 15 of the last 16, and their record on the road is insane. So there's no reason, I can't see why they can't go on to the next stage, which is the Super Bowl.
It's weird because if you asked me, and I love football. but I love defense. And if you would have told me that I'm going to be picking against Denver and Seattle this week, because those two are the superior defenses in this thing. But New England has a pretty good defense. It's not nowhere near those two teams, but they have a good defense. But I just think they're more balanced. And because of Bo Nix being out, if Nix was in, I'll be honest with you, like I said, I would have picked Denver. And on the on the LA side, I think their defense has been underrated all year. I think they've been the most balanced team throughout the whole season this year. Like, I don't think there's been another team that has as much on offense and defense as they do. So,
yeah, no, agreed, mate. Agreed. And let's talk about that game now. So let's move on to the NFC Championship game. So this is my game of the round. I just think this is going to be an absolute cracker of a game. So what have we got? Last time they played was round 16, and Seattle won that one in overtime. So they're obviously used to close games, and I think this one's going to be a close one too. So the interesting things is that the Rams are looking pretty healthy overall, but Rob Havenstein is out. So that's going to be a bit of a loss for them on the offensive line because the guy's got some skill. And for Seattle, losing Zach Charbonnet, that is pretty big. Kenneth Walker is a good running back, but I'm not sure if he can carry the whole load himself. And they're talking about Cam Akers as well, who was on the practice squad just last week, I think it was. And they're talking about bringing him up. So we all know Akers was a pretty good player, but he's past his prime now. So can Kenneth Walker carry the load for the running game? What do you reckon?
Well, I'm going to say, as far as the overall, obviously I'm going Rams here, but as far as Walker goes, he impressed me last week. 19 carries, 116, 3 touchdowns.
He's very good.
Yeah, and I don't know what the actual term is, but his ability to cut on a dime, his twitchiness was impressive. Like his change of direction. I haven't seen a lot of him this year because usually when I watch highlights, it's a mix of him and the guy who got injured, Charbonnet. So, I mean, like you said, that's a huge loss, though, because now you're asking a guy to go into the biggest game of his life so far, and he's used to getting spelled every once in a while and being fresh on every play because he has another guy to tag out with. And like you said, they probably will bump somebody up to try to do that a little bit, but that's going to be more of like an 80-20 deal than a 50-50 like it was. Looking at their two games here, they met, division rivals. So now I agree with you 100%. This will be the game. This will be the better game. I think. You never know. NFL is crazy. Seattle is good, but like I said, LA I think is the most balanced team with an underrated defense, by the way. Go back to week 11. LA wins 21-19. Sam Darnold got picked 4 times in that game, by the way.
Yeah.
And then you fast forward to week 16, like you were saying, Seattle wins 38-37 in overtime. Only one team has put up 21 plus points in the last 7 games against Seattle, and that was the Rams. So we know what that offense is capable of. This is going to be not even good on good. This is going to be great on great when LA's offense is up on the field against Seattle's defense. So it's going to be a great. You got the number one scoring offense against the number one scoring defense. So it should be it should be awesome. One dark horse in this game is I think Cooper Kupp. He's returning to LA for Seattle. Cooper Kupp, he hasn't had amazing stats, but if you look at some of the bigger times when they needed a first down in the last couple rounds here, he's been able to pick them up. And obviously we saw Seattle just dominated San Francisco. Didn't even allow them in the red zone in that game. To keep a team out of the red zone in that game that's insane. As far as LA, so they pick. I'm just looking through my notes now. They picked Darnold 6 times in the 2 games they played him in the regular season. Then we saw them shut down the Bears running game. So if you're worried about Walker in this game, which I think Walker's a great player, if you're worried about Walker, they shut down the Bears running game and they had a 2-headed attack with Monangai and Swift. So, and speaking of running backs, Williams really, I couldn't believe I haven't seen him a lot this year, so that's my fault. But 21 carries, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then you got Stafford and Nakua. Nakua in week 16 alone against Seattle, he had 12 catches. It was over I can't remember the exact number, but it was over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. So, and here's another matchup with Seattle not being a great defense, but not great against tight ends. And LA has Tyler Higbee and Kobe Parkinson. It just looks like, and it's only on paper. Like I said, you got to play the game in real life. But on paper, this looks like LA has the exact ingredients to beat this team, even though I think Seattle's a great team. Not taking anything away from them. This is going to be a great, fun game to watch. this is what you can ask for,
100%, mate. I think sort of on the other side of the coin, another interesting thing which I read a few people were saying was that Stafford last week struggled against the Bears D, and the Bears had a few injuries. I mean, they had guys like TJ Edwards out, and one of their starting corners was out. And he's going up against a tougher defense this week. So obviously defense that he's faced a couple of times, so he knows a little bit more about it. But still, he didn't look amazing last week. I mean, he still looked good, don't get me wrong, but he didn't look amazing last week. So I think that's probably what's going to determine this game is Stafford's play against a better defense. I'm still on the fence about this one a little bit. I've been saying Seattle all week, but after having a look at the Rams over the last couple of days and also having a listen to your take as well, mate, I'm really not sure which way this is going to go. For me, this is a toss of the coin. Look, just to get on record so I can say this is what I'm going for, I'm still going to go with Seattle, but I'm nervous about it.
Yeah. Well, and can I tell you, if I had to choose just as a team to watch, and I'm sorry to any Rams fans because I know Jess Bragg, I love Omnidog, but like if I had to choose a team to actually watch to go into win this game, it would be Seattle. I would like to see Seattle win. I like them better as a team, but I think the Rams are just better. I just think the Rams have to, because if you have the offense of LA and the defense of Seattle cancel each other out, then I trust LA's defense more than I trust Seattle's offense, if that makes any sense. Like if I had to like go down the line like that. And by the way, the special teams, which was the one weakness for LA, special teams actually played really good last week for the Rams. Yeah,
they did, mate. And in previous few weeks they had looked pretty much dreadful. Let's be honest, they were pretty shit.
That was a weakness.
Last week they got it together. So yeah, look, I'm still going to go with Seattle, but I should put an asterisk next to it and say Sam Darnold. He still makes me nervous. He still makes me nervous.
Sorry to cut you there. I apologize. No, but like one thing I will tell you, if anybody's watching this who is a Denver fan or who is a Seattle fan, like as far as my picks go, because I'm picking New England and LA, but I will say this: great defense is huge. If Denver or Seattle forces a bunch of turnovers on New England or LA, if they have like for Denver situation, because of missing their quarterback, they would have to probably have literally two defensive scores, like two or more defensive scores, like interceptions, fumble returns taken back for touchdowns. With Seattle, all they would have to do is pick the ball off. Their offense is capable of scoring. I don't know, and that's not a shot on Stidham or the Broncos. I just don't know them. I don't know anything about them, so I can only go by what I know, which is really nothing when it comes to that situation. But yeah, defense. I mean, listen, if your team is still in it, there's only 4 teams left, so there's no shame at this point, and everybody's gonna clear everything out. No one's holding back. Everyone is one step away from a Super Bowl. So I mean, anybody can win any of these games. This is a toss, like Steve said. It's 50-50. It's you toss a coin. Now we think we know something because Denver's missing their best player, but ultimately, do we? I mean, because we don't know, and they don't know, and New England can't really prepare for Stidham, unless they have some tape from 2023 sitting around or something. Because I mean, the only thing I don't like about that situation, I will say, and I'm sorry to jump around, but like I don't like how they give the example of Nick Foles and Phillip Rivers. Here, let me just tell you why I don't like that. Before Nick Foles came in, he had a run with the Eagles early in his career where he had like 28 touchdowns to 1 interception. He made a Pro Bowl. That stuff already happened. So it's not like he was an unknown. Phillip Rivers was great for San Diego forever. And then he came out of retirement. What he did was impressive, but he already had that. He already was established as that. And that doesn't mean Stidham can't come in and do that. But just let's be easy with the comparisons there, because these guys were already established, really, really good players, great players that could do these things. So it's a little different situation with them. But man, what more could you ask for? I mean, obviously Knicks. Yeah, okay, Knicks being in. Okay, we could ask for that. But besides that, what more could you ask for coming down the stretch with 4 teams left and looking on the horizon of 2 great games tomorrow. So just great stuff.
Oh, it's going to be the other interesting thing, mate. And the old saying is, offense wins games, defense wins championships. Have a look at the defenses that are playing in these games.
Oh my God, all 4 of them.
LA, spot on, mate. All of them are really, really good quality defenses. So they're going to give quarterbacks fits, and that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think this, surprisingly, even though their last meeting, they both went over 30 points. I think the LA Seattle game will be in the mid-20s. And my pick, like I said, will be LA, but I think it'll be like a field goal with like 7 seconds left or something like that. It's not going to be it might even be a field goal in overtime, because these teams, like I said, this is their season. This is everything. So they're going to, no one's holding back anything at this point. And man, are we lucky to be able to get to see these teams go at it. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome, mate. So before we sign off, I just want to quickly mention, not sure if everyone's seen, if you've been following the news and stuff, but 2 hours ago, it looks like Mike McCarthy's been hired as the new Steelers head coach.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Which is interesting. So I wonder what that'll mean for Aaron Rodgers, whether old man Aaron's going to stick around and play the coach again, which is, I don't know, maybe it's part of the reason why they brought him in, because they want him to play again. And also, too, one name that's been bandied around as the new Bills coach is Philip Rivers.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw that report. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, really interesting. He's a great motivator. I mean, that you just watched when he came in to replace Daniel Jones. Just their team lifted. He's a great motivator, and he knows offense. He's a great planner, and he's a great student of the game. So it would be an interesting pickup. I think potentially he could help elevate Josh Allen to that next level. And again, Spew and the Bills aren't in it, because I said at the start, I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Bills. I like seeing them do well, but unfortunately they're not in it this time. But hey, that is what it is. But yeah, interesting. Couple other coaching moves out there. There's still a few spots that are open. I think the Cardinals are still looking at the moment.
The Eagles need an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah. So yeah, interesting times, mate, in the NFL.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think it would be crazy to see Philip Rivers make that quick of a turnaround. I mean, I know he wasn't there for the whole season last year, but that would be pretty cool. And to be able to come in and you can give Josh Allen not only advice from like something that happened like 5-10 years ago, but something that you were part of just last season. So I mean, that would be probably a cool conversation to have there between Rivers and Allen, to be able to be like, okay, this is what's going on. Let's take a look at this. I do think there are disadvantages to that, but if he's coming in as the head coach, then he can get a guy who's been in the league for like 30 years to come in as his offense coordinator, quarterback coach, whatever else. So, plus like you said, with having Josh Allen, everyone needs coaching, everyone needs direction, but he probably needs less of that than most guys. So.
Yeah, spot on, mate. That's why he's the MVP. That's for sure. Says, would have thought the Steelers would have picked anyone else, especially when they only change coaches every other decade. I think, haven't they only had 3 or 4 coaches since their inception, or something bizarre like that? I think Tomlin was around for more than 15 years. So
since I've been alive, I can only remember Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. That's it. That's all I know, anyways.
Yeah, and that's probably all of them, mate. But interesting. I still reckon it might have been the Aaron Rodgers factor might be there, just to try and keep him on, because they haven't. I mean, have a look at their backups and stuff, and got Mason Rudolph, and I don't know who the other person is, but yeah, they need to draft and develop someone. So maybe this is their plan for the future. And personally, I hope it doesn't work. You know how I feel about the Steelers, mate. But,
it's crazy too, because he literally mentioned that, like when if you listen to Aaron Rodgers on his way out for their exit meetings, or it could have been post game that against the Texans, I can't remember, but he literally said basically he was going to do whatever. Like if Tomlin was there, he was coming back. If not. So I thought he was basically going to retire. I don't think unless they improve their offensive line drastically, I don't think you have anything to worry about as a Bengals fan, because that offensive line was dreadful. I can't even believe they made it to the playoffs. They have a lot of good weapons, but
good either. But anyway, cool. So everyone, again, thanks for jumping on and joining myself, and as I like to call him, international correspondent Matt. Awesome to have you on as always, mate. We're looking forward to the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. So, guys, Matty and I are going to jump on and do our Super Bowl preview. We're really looking forward to seeing who gets in there. But most importantly, watch the games this week. They're both really, really, really good games. Just really excited for the championship games. Oh, thanks, Harvey.
Yeah. Hey,
Sorry, your
thanks,
team.
brother. Yeah,
Sorry,
thanks, brother. And I was just gonna say Aussieverse for life, of course, but also today is 1 year exactly since my mom passed away, and I had a really really rough overnight and morning. So thank you, Steve, for giving me something good to look forward to this morning. I don't work today or anything, so I have the day off, but it's just like it's been good to hang with you and Javi, Sasmer, all the dudes in the chat, and to just talk football and get my mind off the other stuff right now. I know she's safe. I know I'll see her again, but it's been tough, man. I really miss her a lot. So thank you guys.
No, I fully understand, mate. And as we've said, we're here if you need us, bud. Always reach out. And just a quick little segue as well. If you're watching this and you need help and you're feeling a bit down the dumps, and if you're suffering from depression or something like that, please talk to someone. All right, you don't have to do this alone. Look after yourselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't talk about it out loud, and they have a lot of problems, and it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's okay to feel
100%.
overwhelmed. It's okay to feel like something's going on that's a little bit too big for you at the moment, and there's a lot of people there that can help you carry that, so you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah, and our community's here for you too, mate. So we're always here, buddy. So take care of yourself, mate. But next week we've got a week off, so I'm going to actually have a sleep in. I don't think Sunday morning, but yeah, look forward to the championship games, Matty. Again, appreciate your insight as always, mate. Thanks for jumping on, and I'll see you, and I'll see everybody else watching for our Super Bowl preview in a couple of weeks. Until then, what's Aussieverse, Matty?
Aussieverse, my friend, is for life.
That's right. I nearly did 5 life. How bad am I?
That's even better. 5 life. You're good to go.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you joining us. Take care.
Thank you, brother.